In his classic dissent in Morrison v. Olson, Justice Scalia remarked that nothing is so politically effective as the ability to charge that one's opponent and his associates are not merely wrong-headed, naive, and ineffective, but in all probability crooks. And nothing so effectively gives an appearance of validity to such charges as a Justice Department investigation. That observation has, I think, been borne out time and time again over the past 2 years. Time and time again, the president's political adversaries have exploited the Mueller probe, its mere existence, to spread baseless innuendo in an effort to undermine the legitimacy of the 2016 election and the effectiveness of this administration. For example, on January 25th, 2019, Speaker Nancy Pelosi asked, what does Putin have on the president politically, personally, or financially? Mr. Attorney General, is there any evidence to suggest that Vladimir Putin, quote unquote, has something on President Trump?
None that I'm aware of.
On February 20th, 2019, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe said on national television to the entire nation that he thinks it's possible that Donald Trump is a Russian agent. Mr. Attorney General, is there any evidence that you're aware of that suggests even remotely that President Trump is a Russian agent?
None that I'm aware of.
Representative Eric Swalwell has repeatedly claimed that Donald Trump, quote, acts on Russia's behalf. Attorney General Barr, is there anything you're aware of to back that up by way of evidence? That the president acts on Russia's behalf?
None that I'm aware of.
So basically we've heard over and over again on national TV, in committee hearings, on the House and Senate floor, and in the media. And we've heard about the president's alleged collusion with Russia. But what we have heard is as baseless as any conspiracy theory that we've seen in politics, any that I can think of. The only difference here is that the purveyors of this conspiracy were, in many cases, prominent members of the opposition party. That's concerning. Now, from the beginning, there were some indications that the Russia investigation was perhaps not always conducted with the absolute impartiality that the American people should expect and have come to hope to find in existence within the Department of Justice, especially given that the track record of excellence that the U.S. Department of Justice has shown. According to the Mueller report itself, the investigation into the Trump campaign began on July 31st, 2016, after a foreign government contacted the FBI about comments made by George Papadopoulos. Is that accurate, or were there other precipitating events that helped lead to this?
That is the account that has been given in the past as to how it got going.
Now, you've previously said that you think it's possible that the Federal Bureau of Investigation improperly spied on the Trump campaign. I assume that's a reference to the FISA warrant for Carter Page. Is that what you have in mind, or are there other circumstances that you've got in mind there?
Well, one of the things I want to look, there are many people seem to assume that the only intelligence collection that occurred was a single confidential informant and a FISA warrant. I'd like to find out whether that is in fact true. It strikes me as a fairly anemic effort if that was the counterintelligence effort designed to stop the threat as it's being represented.
Was Carter Page under surveillance during his time working for the Trump campaign, which was roughly January 2016 to September 2016?
I don't know.
Was any other Trump campaign official under surveillance during that time period, to your knowledge?
Well, these are the things that I need to look at. And I have to say that, as I've said before, you know, the extent that there was any overreach, I believe it was a few people in the upper echelons of the Bureau and perhaps the department. But those people are no longer there, and I'm working closely with Chris Wray, who I think has done a superb job at the Bureau, and we're working together on trying to reconstruct exactly what went down. One thing people should know is that the Bureau itself has been a little bit handicapped in looking back because of the pending Mueller investigation and the OIG investigation.
As we know, the FISA warrant for Carter Page was based largely on the so-called Steele dossier, and in particular on two specific facts about Page's trip to Moscow to deliver a speech in July 2016. First, according to the warrant, Page had a secret meeting with Igor Sechin, the president of Rosneft. Does the Mueller report confirm that Page met with Sechin?
Met with who?
With Mr. Sechin, with Igor Sechin.
Yeah, I can't recall, but I don't remember that. Let me just say that I want to stay away from getting too deeply into the FISA issue because that's currently under investigation by the OIG.
Understood. Second, and more importantly, the warrant also says that Page met with Igor Divyekin in order to discuss what is referred to as compromat involving Hillary Clinton, against Hillary Clinton. Does the Mueller report confirm that Page met with Divyekin?
I don't think so.
Does it confirm that Page discussed compromat on Hillary Clinton with anyone?
Not that I recall.
So since the main evidentiary support for the warrant has been discussed by the Mueller report, which is sort of the gold standard of what we're discussing here, I'm glad that you're looking into it. I'd encourage you to look into why the FBI relied on this false information. And I hope you'll share the results. The public obviously has a right to know what happened here. The U.S. Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have a long history, and a long history of success that has been based on respect. They deserve to understand that there's not so much power that's been concentrated in that one agency, that the outcome of an investigation can depend on the whims of who might be assigned to it. They have a right not to believe that a particular investigation might be struck and paged, might not be tarmacked, might not be influenced by an improper consideration, politically or otherwise. Thank you, Mr. Attorney General.